All right, good morning. We are getting ready to start our QuickBooks webinar. My name is Andrea Reynolds, and I'll be presenting for you today. And I have Barb Morrow here. She's going to be monitoring any of your questions in the, I'll direct you to the quick questions and answer section in Zoom. If you ask your question, she will be there and she'll answer that for you there. If we're unable to get to your question during the presentation, we will respond to you in email. This will be recorded. This presentation is recorded and will be posted to our Zoom, to our Walls Group YouTube channel. All right, so the outline for this morning, we're going to take a look at what's new in QuickBooks 2021. We'll look at some remote desktop options and compare the QuickBooks Desktop versus the online software. We'll also review some QuickBooks Online tips and tricks and take a look at some third-party apps that are available to you. Begin by looking at QuickBooks Desktop. Here is a recap of some of the new features that have been available in the most recent releases. Intuit supports up to 3 years of the QuickBooks software. After that time, it's recommended that you upgrade. And as of May 30th, 2021, Intuit will no longer support the 2018 version. So at that time, we recommend that you upgrade to the QuickBooks 2021, which is now available. Some of my favorite features that have been released in the last couple years are that in 2018, they began supporting multi-monitors. It allows you to expand QuickBooks across 2 and even 3 monitors. They also updated their email security. In 2019, there's a new feature where you can easily transfer credits between jobs of the same customer. QuickBooks will automatically do the journal entries for you. And in 2020, you can horizontally collapse your columns in class and job reports. So those reports can get quite extensive. So it allows you to collapse and view only the information that you want to see. In the 2021 release, they now allow receipt management. We'll go through each of these. They have customer groups where you can email statements and invoices to groups. You can automate sending your statements. You can customize and format your payment receipts. And there's also a QuickBooks Tool Hub, which helps you with troubleshooting. Some improvements have been made to your bank feeds and also PDF attachments. First, we'll take a look at the receipt management feature. This was previously available in 2020, I believe it started. And now with 2021, you can download the QuickBooks Desktop app, a mobile app, and take an image of your receipt and upload it directly into QuickBooks. I don't have the mobile app to show you today, but here are screenshots of the process. And we'll also take a look at how the previous options available in QuickBooks. So for example, if we have a credit card charge and we want to attach a receipt, we need to open up a previous transaction and we can attach a file. This feature is available in your bills and your invoices. If you have a contract you need to attach to an invoice, or if you have a vendor bill that you received, you can scan them and attach them to any type of transaction in QuickBooks. The document is saved to your local computer, so you can either scan it and save it. Your document center, this will list any attachment that you have within the QuickBooks file. You can view them here. But with the 2021 version, now you can use that the desktop mobile app to take a picture, capture the image with your phone, and upload it into QuickBooks. New in QuickBooks, you can create customer groups. And we'll take a look in the QuickBooks Desktop software and how that can be done. You can create rule-based customer groups on fields such as customer type, status, location, sales rep, and balance. In QuickBooks, let's go to customers, payment reminders, and manage customer groups. So I set up this new construction customers as an example. Let's see. Here we go. Create customer group. So like I did, let's delete this one. And we'll go through the process again. So let's create a new customer group. For example, let's create a new group for new residential construction. So we'll create that. And you can put a description in here. This is for your information only. So to create the group, we can choose what information we want to pull from the customer that pulls them into this group. So we're going to look at the customer type. It equals, and we're going to do residential. So we'll add that as a limitation for this group. We can add multiple different levels. And then the next screen is going to pull all of the customers that meet that criteria. So you can see that these are all residential. And if we wanted to, we could create another filter to pull in the new customers, say active within the last year or two. So that's going to create a group for you, and then that will allow you to use additional features within QuickBooks to pull that group information, such as creating automatic statements. At the end of the month, you can create a group for specific customers that you want to send automatic statements to. And that's going to be our next feature that we take a look at. There's also a box here that as you create new customers, you can automatically add them, or if you uncheck it, you'll have to manually add those customers to this list. All right, so our next new feature is automatically sending statements. If you want to automate sending regular statements, you can tailor them to different customer needs. The statements can be reviewed and are sent from QuickBooks using the predefined email and templates configured during this automated send statement setup. So let's go to QuickBooks and we can show you an example. Let's go to Edit, Preferences, and Payments. We're going to designate a date and a time for reminders to pop up. Down here, we can send payment reminders, yes, what time you want to send them, and how frequently they should be sent, or you should be reminded. You can also go to Customers, Payment Reminders, Schedule your payment reminders. And then this would be the forms that you would be able to send. You can either send invoices or statements. So at the end of the month, if you want to create a new statement group, let's create a new schedule for your statements. And then you can send the reminder for your new residential construction. And this is the group that we just created with the last new feature available. So we're going to create a new reminder for that. We want to send the statement on the first day of every month. We're going to generate a statement for the open transactions. And on that statement, we want to include the memo and the due date. And here are the templates that are going to be used to create that statement, to create and email that statement. So now you have a reminder that when you open up QuickBooks on the first day of every month, you'll get the reminder that these statements need to be sent, and you can automate that, review those, and then QuickBooks will send them for you. And we did not set up this invoices, so that's giving us an error, but we set up the statements. Yes. All right, our next new feature is to customize and format payment receipts. You can customize the payment receipt formatting by adding a logo and keeping the payment receipt consistent to other forms that your customer is used to seeing, such as your invoice and your statements. In QuickBooks, we can customize the payment receipt by going under your template list. And now we have this payment receipt that you can customize. So you can add your logo, and we can do additional customization. We do not have a printer available, so it's not giving us our preview here, but it still allows us to customize that template for the receipt payment. So to use the receipt payment, when we receive a payment, if you want to send confirmation to a customer that we received their check, we would receive a payment. I'm going to pull up a recent one. And then from here, we can email the payment, or we can print the payment and mail it. So here, this is another pop-up about selecting the template and customizing it. But then once we customize it, then we would be able to email it. Our next feature available with QuickBooks 2021, this is actually available for all QuickBooks Desktop 2018 and newer versions. This is a QuickBooks Tool Hub. It can be downloaded to help you troubleshoot and fix problems within your QuickBooks software. I tried to get the link and include it here for you, but it is very long. So what I'd recommend, if you're interested in this, to do a search for your QuickBooks Tool Hub, and then you can download the software to use. Some users may not be comfortable with downloading and trying to troubleshoot on their own, so that's why Barb and I are here to help you. So please continue to feel free to contact us, and we'll be able to assist you if you're uncomfortable with trying to troubleshoot here. They made some improvements in 2021 to the bank feeds. They now include an advanced mode to the bank feeds, which will be similar to QuickBooks Online. Let's go into QuickBooks and take a look at that. We first need to turn on that preference. So if we go to our preferences, under checking, the company preferences, and then here we can choose what view we want to see our bank feeds. So we're going to change it to the advanced mode. So now when we go to banking, Bank Feed Center, now we can see this new setup. So if you're a QuickBooks Online user, you can notice that this is very similar to what the online version offers to you. You have your account information that's linked to the QuickBooks Desktop software, and these are the transactions that have been downloaded from the bank into QuickBooks. They have cleared the bank, and currently they are unrecognized in QuickBooks because they have not been entered yet. If, for example, you print a check out of QuickBooks Desktop, that check information is already in the software. So it's going to recognize that check's in QuickBooks and it will match it for you. That will be under this tab here. Partially recognized would be that QuickBooks, it's in QuickBooks, but it may not be an exact match. So that will be a good place for you to review the information and you can change it as needed. So for these unrecognized transactions, you'll need to add a payee so QuickBooks knows where to post it, and the account information needs to be added as well. You can set up rules for frequent transactions. So for example, you have a monthly bank service charge that your bank charges you. So we're going to set up a rule to automatically post or add that information for you. So we're going to add a rule for bank service charges for money that is going out of your bank account. It's going to meet any of these criterias. The description contains, if you do equals, it has to be an exact match or matches. We're going to contain service charge. So this is going to add the payee. So we're going to fill in your bank. We're going to categorize the account to your bank service charges, and if you use classes, you can enter the class. We'll do overhead here. So we're going to save that rule. So now any new transactions that are downloaded from the bank, that rule will automatically apply and this information will already be filled in for you. Next, if you want to add it to QuickBooks, you can add that transaction and it will automatically enter it for you. You can match it to an existing transaction. For example, if you already have a monthly, say a recurring transaction that enters this bank service charge, you can match it to that entry in QuickBooks. And then down here, you also have your batch actions. So once you have, a good example would be under unreconciled, you have your rules set up, it automatically fills in this information. Definitely take the time to review this. And once you confirm that everything has been posted and entered correctly, you can select multiple transactions and then you can do a batch action to either ignore the transaction, say if you don't want them to import into QuickBooks, or you can modify all of them at the same time. If they're all similar transactions, you can update the information. And since I selected payments and deposits, that's not working, so let's try it again. I'm going to modify all of them. So then we can update all of the information at the same time if that information is the same for each of those transactions selected. So we can save and then add it to your bank register in QuickBooks. So that's a new feature within QuickBooks, or an improved feature. They previously have a different view, but this is they update it to be similar to what QuickBooks Online offers. They have also improved the PDF review in QuickBooks Online, or I'm sorry, QuickBooks Desktop 2021. This was considered a slipstream release This was added in QuickBooks Desktop 2021 with the maintenance R5 release or newer. So if you're using the 2020 version of QuickBooks, you may have already seen this improvement in your file. From your invoice, when you choose to email it, my sample file does not have email set up, so I'm not able to view that in the sample file, but this will give you a visual by choosing to invoice and attach the file, the invoice, to an email. And now you can directly click on this link, the PDF, and view the information before it's sent. Previously, you had to view the PDF outside of QuickBooks, so now they have streamlined this and you can view it directly from this email before you send the invoice to the customer. Many of you are seeing this pop up prompting you to log into your Intuit account. It's not a new feature, but I know many people are seeing it and I've gotten some questions about it. They are trying to link all of your Intuit accounts together. So if you're using additional subscriptions such as payroll, payments, T-sheets, or your receipt management, that new feature where uploading your receipts, they want to link all of your Intuit accounts, and it's supposed to streamline your use and provide additional security. Now, I've researched, tried to research on ways on how to discontinue this. However, I haven't been able to find a way to permanently disable it. So until they would make another change to this, you'll have to choose I am not the admin, and then you would be given a prompt that you can receive a new reminder in 7 days. So every 7 days, you'll have to continue to do that. Or if you are using those additional features, you can log in as the admin, enter your Intuit account information, and then you will no longer see this prompt in the future. Next, we're going to take a look at our remote desktop options. These days, with our current business and social environmental conditions, many businesses are looking for ways to work remotely as possible. With this Log Me In software, it's a download to your computer that holds QuickBooks or whatever computer you want to remotely control. And it allows you to remotely access that computer as if you're sitting in front of it from anywhere through a web page. So for example, if you have your computer at the office and you want to work from home, you are able to remotely log in through Log Me In website to control that computer as if you're sitting in front of it. Along the right-hand side here, they have different levels of the subscription. You can have unlimited users for any of these levels. All you have to do is share your login information for instant collaboration with the person you want to share that information to. Just make sure that they're a trusted source. The different levels of subscription here on the right-hand side allow you to control the number of computers that you want to access. With each subscription, you get 1 terabyte of file storage, which allows you to easily store all your files and access them from anywhere. With Log Me In, you do get remote printing, so you can print to your local printer, and you can have multi-monitor displayed while logged in through Log Me In. Our next option is hosting QuickBooks Desktop on the cloud. We recommend using Right Networks. It gives you remote access, the remote access like QuickBooks Online, but you would access your QuickBooks Desktop software from anywhere. There are multiple subscription levels available. You can see that they are priced per user per month. With the Desktop Cloud subscription, you're able to access your QuickBooks Desktop software from a remote desktop. This gives you access to Google Chrome Internet, PDF, and your printing software, so you can print locally. It's perfect for small businesses wanting to remote access their QuickBooks Desktop software from anywhere, with the security, reliability, and flexibility on the cloud. The business cloud model includes all of the desktop cloud, but then you also get access to Microsoft Excel, and then you can integrate QuickBooks applications such as Bill.com and Expensify. With the application cloud, you get full access to their unlimited application ecosystem on Right Networks, which means you can use any sort of applications that you need and add them to that cloud desktop for you. You also get Microsoft Office Suite. And of course, you also get the QuickBooks Online software, which allows you to access your data file from any web page, computer, mobile app, or tablet. They have different online subscriptions. You can easily convert your QuickBooks Desktop data to QuickBooks Online, and it'll bring in all of that history from the desktop file to your new online file. Here's a list of the features that are available with the different subscription levels. And next we're going to take a look at the differences between QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. Intuit is starting to focus and put all of their resources into growing the QuickBooks Online client base. You know, this is where QuickBooks is heading, and we want to stay informed and be available to service you and your software needs. I am certified in QuickBooks Online as well as Desktop, and we want to cater to that QuickBooks Online growing community. QuickBooks Online is a completely different software than QuickBooks Desktop. Even though they are both QuickBooks products, they are very different. The biggest perk of QuickBooks Online is that it allows users to access their company file from anywhere, like I mentioned, from a desktop, tablet, or a mobile phone. But it lacks in the advanced features found in QuickBooks Desktop. So here is a list of common features to both QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. If you're using QuickBooks Desktop, I hope that this information can be helpful to you in determining if you should consider making that move to QuickBooks Online. Please review these lists carefully to make sure that all the features that you use within the desktop software will be available in QuickBooks Online. Some of these features that are common to both are the audit trail, so you can see the history of your transactions. You can track your sales tax. You have multi-currency available in both softwares. You can memorize transactions and reports. There's also progress invoicing and estimates. You have the online banking option, which we briefly reviewed. And some of the features are available only in the QuickBooks Online Plus version that are standard in the QuickBooks Desktop software, such as tracking your inventory or your project profitability. You also have the class tracking and budgets in QuickBooks Online Plus. Some of the features that are only in QuickBooks Desktop are listed here. If you're an advanced user of QuickBooks Desktop and would like to transfer to QuickBooks Online, then possibly a QuickBooks third-party add-on app could fill in those holes that you're not seeing in QuickBooks Online. Some of the features only in QuickBooks Desktop include your price levels and your billing rate levels. You can batch invoice. You can add a change order to your estimates. You can calculate and rebill your job costs. QuickBooks Desktop allows you to restore a company backup. With QuickBooks Online, Intuit does the backup, but you're not able to restore that data. QuickBooks Desktop does offer industry-specific reporting. There are some major reports available in Desktop that QuickBooks Online is not able to generate. Some of these features are minor, but some of them can be vital to some desktop users. Next, these features are only available in QuickBooks Online. If you're a small or a new business, QuickBooks Online can track the basic information, and so then QuickBooks Online would be a great option for you. Some of these features include transferring that the data is hosted, like I mentioned, by Intuit servers, so they include all of the backups for you automatically. There's no need to transfer data since the files is available to everyone and everybody logs into the same account. A nice feature is that when creating journal entries, you can enter more than one accounts receivable or accounts payable class per journal entry. QuickBooks Online uses the first in, first out inventory valuation method, and you can automatically collect fees from your customers using recurring transactions. As I've worked in QuickBooks Online, there are some limitations that I found. It does not do the full job costing, but there is a workaround to track expenses by job, but you're not getting the full process like QuickBooks Desktop allows you to rebill that information to your customers, and some of the reporting is not as robust as you find in the desktop. You have less flexibility to customize your forms and reports. Like we've reviewed in QuickBooks Desktop, you can customize your templates, which can be done in QuickBooks Online, but you do have more formatting options for QuickBooks Desktop. There is a cost difference between the QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop software. Over the 3-year period that your QuickBooks Desktop software is available, the QuickBooks Online cost for 1 year is the same as the cost around the same cost as your QuickBooks Desktop software that's available for the 3 years. But then you need to weigh the pros and cons of the flexibility of having QuickBooks Online available to you at any time. QuickBooks Online is slightly slower to work in and maneuver around. It does take longer to refresh your windows, to move to the next field, and if you're typing, the autofill does take a moment to refresh and recognize what you're trying to enter. QuickBooks Online does not calculate your discounts by customer or vendor. You need to manually track that information and enter that on the transaction. Intuit does offer a sample file of QuickBooks Online. So if you're interested in taking a look at what the software looks like, here is a link that you can access. And that's what I've been working in today. So you can do some test reporting, test your transactions and see how everything works in the online file if you wanted to take a look at that. Next, we'll take a look at some QuickBooks Online tips and tricks. QuickBooks does work best with the Google Chrome browser. If you try to access it with Internet Explorer, it will show the outline of QuickBooks Online, but it will not allow you to access your information. It'll just be a white screen. You can download the QuickBooks Online desktop app. If you're familiar with working with QuickBooks Desktop, this will allow you this creates a menu bar at the top of your screen, so it mimics what your QuickBooks Desktop software would look like. So it can make your transition to QuickBooks Online a little bit easier. Next, you can duplicate your tab from QuickBooks Online, so you can have multiple tabs open at a time, which allows you to multitask. So in QuickBooks Online, we're working in this sample file here. So if you have a screen open and you'd like to, for example, if you have a report run and you wanted to go into your data file and search for a specific transaction or information, you can duplicate your page. So up top on the tab, if you right click and select duplicate, that's going to create a new tab for you to work in. you have your information saved in one tab, and from this tab you can go and navigate to a different page. So that allows you to work more efficiently and multitask. You can save frequently accessed pages by creating a bookmark. So for example, if you often access your banking tab, you can create a bookmark for that page. So we're going to save it as bank transactions on our bookmark bar, and it's going to save this extension. So let's go to a different page, for example. And now if we go to our bookmark, it's going to automatically take us back to that banking screen. So maybe the banking screen isn't a great example because you can easily access it from the left-hand side. But if you have a transaction or the chart of accounts that you're frequently accessing, if you have a report that you run frequently, you can save that as a bookmark and it will automatically generate that from your bookmark bar instead of navigating to it within QuickBooks. Within QuickBooks Online, there are also keyboard shortcuts. You can find them by using Control-Alt ? If you press those keys at the same time, this screen will open up and will show you your keyboard shortcuts. To use them, you would need to use the Control-Alt key plus the shortcut key to open up. For this list, this would open up the transaction page listed here. Or if you're within a transaction, you can do Control-Alt and these keys, and then it would perform this action. So my favorite feature from this shortcut list is Control-Alt-F, which allows you to search for transactions. So we'll test that. If you do Control-Alt-F, it will open up the search field and you can search for any transaction. So I often search for an amount. If you know a transaction has a specific amount, you can search for that and then update your search criteria here. So we're searching all transactions for a specific amount equaling $120. Now, of course, it didn't find anything. Let's see if we can find something a little more general. So now it's going to list any transaction for that amount. And then from here, you can also click and open up that transaction to view it. Another shortcut, well, not necessarily a shortcut, another feature in QuickBooks Online that I'd recommend that you take a look at is reviewing your settings. Those can be found in your gear up in the top right corner, and select your account and settings. Along the left-hand side here, you have different tabs within QuickBooks that have different transactions and features within QuickBooks that you can review. So the first one is your company information. Next is going to be your usage. So this will give you your total account information. This, with the QuickBooks Online Plus, you get 250 chart of accounts. If you need more, you can upgrade to the advanced version of QuickBooks Online that allows unlimited chart of accounts. So this allows you to monitor your list usage. Under the Sales tab, you have different features that you can turn on. You can allow discounts. This is going to be different for everybody's company, so I just recommend that you take a moment to come in here and review some of these features. You can turn on your progress invoicing here. You can set default messages. Under your expenses, you have your billing and expense features. You can track expenses and items by customer, which is good for your progress invoicing. You can make those expenses and items billable. And under Advanced, you have a bunch of other options as well for your data file. So you can turn on your account numbers. You can set a default for your discount accounts. You can track your classes and locations. You can pre-fill your forms, so it'll pull the information from previous transactions and automatically fill it, which is helpful for some of your accounts. If you have a vendor that you're frequently posting the information to the same account, you can pre-fill that. And there's additional features that you can turn on here for QuickBooks. You can also set up recurring transactions in QuickBooks Online. These are similar to the memorized transactions in QuickBooks Desktop. So for example, if you have a transaction that happens every month, you can set up a recurring entry. So for this example, we're going to use a monthly loan payment. So every month, this transaction is going to be the same or similar. You're going to have to update the principal and interest amounts, but you can create the check to your vendor. For this example, let's just choose a vendor, and you're going to have your loan information. Say for this one, we're going to issue the $500 principal payment, and you have your interest expense, which is not created in this count. Interest expense. We'll have $150 of interest. Down below, you have this make recurring option. So if we want to save this transaction, we can create the template. This can be done for any sort of transaction within QuickBooks. You can memorize or recur an invoice, a check, a journal entry, any type of transaction. So you can set up the features that you want for that transaction. You want it to be done monthly. You can record a daily transaction, when you want to start and end those entries. So this could be done for your monthly depreciation or your monthly service charge from the bank. You know, it's going to be the same every month. You can set up a recurring transaction here. Those recurring transactions can be found under this gear in the top right corner and your recurring transactions. So that's going to list everything that you set up as a recurring transaction. You can edit them, or you could use them at any time. I also want to point out the More button at the bottom of your transactions. So for example, let's open up a new transaction. Down at the bottom, well, let's open up a recorded transaction. Down at the bottom, you have your More button here. This allows you to see your audit history as well as your transaction journal. The audit history is going to show you what changes have been made to that transaction. So it'll show you the original transaction, and then if there's any additional changes made, it's going to show you another line with those changes made in bold. So for example, if you view a check, it's going to show you when the transaction clears the bank and when it's reconciled. If there's any changes made within that transaction, it's going to show you that here in this audit trail as well. From this More button, there's the transaction journal, which is going to show you the behind the scenes entries for that transaction. It's going to give you the account information. So for this invoice, we are debiting your accounts receivable, and then all of these accounts are pulling from the products and services that you're using within that invoice. So you can see where that information is posting. So for example, we have, these are the items that are being used, and these are the accounts that are set up to post to. Let's go back into our sample file. And I think I timed out because I have duplicate tabs up here. I quickly used that previous transaction arrow in the top left corner. Just open up a transaction. And in this top left corner, you have this previous arrow. If you click on that, that will bring up recent transactions entered. So these are recent checks that have been entered, and it'll allow you to quickly navigate back to those transactions. Also within any transaction, you have this attachment feature. We briefly reviewed that in QuickBooks Desktop, but then you also have that here in QuickBooks Online where you can attach a transaction. Say you have a receipt for this check or a bill that you're paying, you can attach that here to the transaction. This will help you be, it provides an audit history for that transaction, and it provides, if you're working remotely, it allows other users to see that information. All right, let's take a look at some features for your reports. So we have your standard reports offered with QuickBooks Online. If you star a report, it's going to show it up here at the top of with your favorites, so you have easy access to it. If you have a report that you're running on a regular basis, say at the end of the month, you're running your regular, or you're customizing your balance and your profit and loss reports. Let's go to a report. Let's use your profit and loss. And let's customize it to display columns by month. Let's do it for this year. This year to last month. So now it's going to create your report for you. You can find additional customization in this button. You can choose the period, some information that you want to filter for, and you can update your header and your footer from here. These are similar features in QuickBooks Desktop under that Customize Report button as well. So once you have your report customized, and then you want to save it. So let's save the customization, profit and loss by month. We can add this report to a group. So you can call, let's do a month-end group. Month-end reports. And we can share with specific individuals, users within the company file. So if we don't want to share it with anybody, you want to be the only one to access it, you can share it with nobody, or you can share it with all of the users of your file. So once we have that report saved, we can now find it under our Custom Reports tab. So it saves that customization. We can easily run it by clicking on it, and it will regenerate that report. If we go under Edit, whoops, oh yes. If we go under Edit, we can set an email schedule. So like I said, if we're running monthly reports, at the end of the month, you want to automatically send the reports in this group. We can choose the recurrence of those reports on how frequently you want to email them. So we want to, for this example, we want to do it monthly on the 30th of every month. Or I'm sorry, every 1 month on the last day of the month. And then this would be your email template. Also, if you run reports, you can email them directly from the report, or you can also export to PDF and Excel. All right, we went through our list of online tips and tricks. Next, we're going to take a look at third-party add-on software. Here are two websites. One is for QuickBooks Online apps, and the other one is for your desktop apps. This is going to provide you with apps supported by Intuit. They have guaranteed that it's going to work with QuickBooks. If you find an app outside of this website, Intuit does not support it. Today we're going to review the apps that are supported by Walls Group. Each app, we're going to go over different areas of QuickBooks. So each app is going to cover a different area, such as accounts payable, receivables, payroll, inventory, and job costing and reporting. The first app is going to be Receipt Bank. This uses optical character recognition to extract the information from receipts and invoices to quickly and accurately enter the information into QuickBooks for you. This software claims to cut 50% of your manual data entry time, freeing you up to do more important tasks. You simply take a picture of the receipt with your phone. You can also scan it or email the attachments directly to your Receipt Bank specific email address. Once it's imported into Receipt Bank, like I said, they use the optical character recognition, or OCR, and they will pull the information from that receipt to automatically fill in the vendor, the date, and the amount. And they'll publish that into QuickBooks. They can do it to QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. QuickBooks Online, it automatically feeds into the bank activity screen, and QuickBooks Desktop, you'll need to import it with a CSV file. The next app we'll take a review is Expensify. This allows you to manage your expense reports. According to Expensify's website, it claims that your expense reports will take 83% less time to prepare. This also allows you to smart scan your receipts and uses the OCR technology to read and code the receipt details for you. Then it adds the receipt to the expense report, and it can be automatically submitted and notify your manager for approval. You can set approval rules, which, for example, would allow, say, your $3 coffee, and then require you to approve, a manager to approve your larger expenses. The expense report is then posted to QuickBooks for payment by check, or depending on your subscription level, you can also reimburse the employee directly through Expensify by direct deposit. Expensify can scan and import credit card receipts directly to your company credit card reconciliation as well, instead of just the employee expense report. And it also recognizes when duplicate receipts are submitted. The Expensify can track your mileage and your per diem claims as well. With T-Sheets, you can track your timesheets from any location using any device in real time. You can use it at the office from a website or while on the job location using a mobile app. It works like a time clock for employees to punch in and out, or employees can manually add their time to the manual timesheet at the end of the day. Managers will review and approve their time cards, and then the hours are imported directly into QuickBooks timesheets and then used to prepare your payroll. It has the capability to do job costing by job codes and create employee schedules. You can set up to notify an employee when they forget to clock in or out at the end of the day or a shift. And you can set automatic reminders to text or email the employees when they forgot to clock in or out. You can easily manage the employee time with PTO accruals, overtime alerts, and approved timesheets. And you can see who is working from within the app. It does have a GPS time tracking capability, or a timestamp capability, which tracks the employee's location and their time on the job. You can run real-time reports for payroll, project reports, and time costing reports directly from T-Sheets. Bill.com helps you manage your receivables and your payables. For accounts receivable, it allows you to send digital invoices to customers for review and payment. You can get paid faster by setting up personalized payment reminders to your customers, and it accepts ACH, credit card, and PayPal payments. For the accounts payable feature, you can import the bills into this Bill.com app. It receives invoices by email. Excuse me. It receives invoices by email, or you can forward them to your Bill.com email address directly, or simply drag and drop into the app. Again, it uses the OCR technology to read that information and to automatically fill in your bill transactions, pulling the important information from the bill, such as the name, the amount, the dates, allowing no data entry for you. Knowify is an app for contractors. You can use it for job costing and estimates. It allows you to create change orders. You can do your time tracking specifically for jobs within Knowify. And for change orders, it allows for an e-signature, so you can do everything electronically. It also allows you to create your standard invoices and in the AIA style. Kavinci is integrated with QuickBooks Online only. It has a dashboard which allows you to select allows you to select widgets to see the important information to you. The options include your profit and loss, financial summary, and your accounts receivable and payable aging reports. It has data verification, which it runs a set of 7 tests to automatically review your data every day to help you identify basic accounting errors and discrepancies. The test will pinpoint the month and the account where the errors occur, so you can go in and review that information and correct the accuracy. The app for inventory is the SOS Inventory. Again, this only integrates with QuickBooks Online. It allows you to do order management, to track manufacturing of your inventory. You can create build assemblies, create sales orders that pushes into QuickBooks Online, and it creates pick tickets for you as well. The pricing for these add-on apps I found to be on a monthly schedule. They have different levels that you can choose the features that you need. If any of these add-on applications would work for your business, We do offer different levels of service to help assist you with the setup and the integration into your QuickBooks software. We've already set up several companies with some of these add-on applications, so we do have the knowledge and the history to be able to assist you. That is all the information that we have for QuickBooks today. Is there any questions that we feel like we should address for everybody? All right, not at this time. So if you do have additional questions or something specifically that you want to ask us, here's our email address, and feel free to contact us by email or phone. Like I mentioned, this has been recorded and will be posted to the Walls Group YouTube channel that you can go back to reference, or you can also share with other users. Thank you for taking the time today to spend with us and review some of these QuickBooks features.